Happy Friday, everyone. How are you doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I know y'all got to be in a good mood because it's Friday. It's Good Friday as well. I hope each and every one of y'all are doing good. Everything is getting off to a great start and you're staying in a positive mindset. But go ahead and get into today's topic for today. So, it's staying 2 steps ahead of the game, securing your marriage. So, for those of you who are married, and even for those of you who are in a dating situation or whatever, have you ever had a point in your marriage, or are you at a point right now where you feel like you arguing over and over and over again about the same thing? And you like, man, we've been married. Good morning, Tasha. Man, we've been married forever. We shouldn't even be arguing over this. Or like, oh my God, this is so stupid. And you get to the point where you just tired of arguing. This is where this comes in. Stay 2 steps ahead of the game. Hey, Keela, how you doing, girl? Stay 2 steps ahead of the game so you can go ahead and secure your marriage. Now, a lot of you, hey, Kendrick, thanks for answering the question. A lot of you are probably like, you know what? Thank you, girl. It's probably like, you know what? I'm tired. Why am I going to continue to go through this? Now, I will tell you, in marriage, you have your ups and downs, and that's just what it is. And so you don't, especially when you done invested a lot of time, you've been through a lot of situations, you really support each other. And in your mind, you may be thinking, I'm done, but in your heart, you're not. And so sometimes we can jump with what our mind says instead of actually listening to our heart, especially when you know you're in a good situation, right? So staying 2 steps ahead of the game. I'm gonna kind of give some good examples to make it plain, right? When people try to come in between your marriage, they see who they can pick off first. Think about you and your spouse, and think about your home. I always use the example of the home. Now, say your husband may be the front door, your wife may be the back door. They're going to sit back, especially when they see, wow, they seem like they have a good marriage. They work well together. I'm going to see how I can enter in to their marriage. Which one can I pick off first? It's so ironic. I sit up and think about being in the military. It's the same similar strategy that you use. Kids do the same thing. Your kids do the same thing if you have little kids. That's why it's important for, even if you are co-parenting, for the mother and the father to be on one accord. Because if not, you're creating a little manipulator. I'm just going to be honest, and I ain't trying to talk about nobody's kids, but that's what you're doing. You're creating a manipulator. Because think about somebody who try to get in between your marriage. Okay, now we'll get up off your kids. We'll talk about somebody who thirsty and they really want to be the next Mrs. or the next Mr. They gonna see and wait for the perfect weak spot, and they gonna try to pick and come in. But the question is, what are you gonna do to make sure it don't happen? So this is a big example that people argue over. I'm going to say it like this. Those who don't have nobody, they don't have no man, they don't have no female, they're quick to say, oh, why you feel like you got to report everything to your wife, man, you weak. Why you feel like you got to report everything to your husband? See, me being single, I don't have to report. They're planting the seed of negativity so they can get ready to attack to come into your marriage. Watch people who talk like that, okay? Because people who say, okay, so let's say my girl Natasha on here, right? So, say I wanted to borrow one of their vehicles. Now, I may sit up here and think, and I hope Tasha and her husband don't mind, but I'm going to use their names. I may sit up here and think, so I know I'm not going to be able to get the vehicle if I ask Rashawn. I'm not going to, because I don't even really know him that well like that, even though I know him. I'll probably be able to get that vehicle if I go through Tasha. See, this is what you need to understand when it comes to your marriage. This is what you need to understand. What you need to understand is people don't just all of a sudden happen. If you got somebody that's thirsty, baby, they're going to find a way to get in. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm sitting up here like, yeah, I'm going to go through Tasha because she got a big heart. She ain't going to say no, and whatever the case may be. So that's why I'm going to go through. People do this. So the worst thing that you can do when you married as husbands and wives, the absolute worst thing you can do is not keep your spouse in the loop of what is going on, because that's how the enemy attacks. And let me give a good example of what I'm talking about. So say that, I'm trying to think something, let me say something simple. I'll say something simple. So say the husband, somebody, a coworker tells him something. a female tells him something, right? And he like, you know what? You right, da 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 da. Let me go ahead and, yeah, I'm gonna run that past my wife. He talking a good game, right? I'm gonna run that past my wife. Let me. And then here come this same chick, this same coworker that's been waiting in the cut to see how she can come up in y'all's marriage. She'll set up and she'll say, oh, what use that same example? I was talking about Natasha and her husband. So let's just say, oh Lord, this would be a big issue, and I'm not trying to start in nobody's house, okay? This female asked to borrow one of the vehicles. Say she asked to borrow one of our vehicles. Now, my husband would not do this because, Lord, I don't want to go back to the old Shan, okay? But she asked to borrow one of our vehicles. Say I happen to be driving somewhere. I'm running to Walmart because everybody go to Walmart. I run into Walmart and I see our Corvette. That's what I'm going to say. I see our Corvette. And I know it's our Corvette because I know the tag number. But it ain't my husband driving it. It's another female. Y'all know this is going to start World War III in our house, right? Just like my husband couldn't see our black Escalade and see another man driving it. That's going to start an issue. When you don't run things past your spouse to keep them in a loop, that's when World War III started in y'all's marriage. So this is my thing. If you are a husband and a wife and you're consistently arguing over the same thing, this is what I want you to think about. When this person, this same individual, let's talk about mamas. We talked about mamas yesterday. I know you're like, dang, she ain't get up off of mamas. But think about this. So if your mama, if my mother-in-law and Kenya mama wanted to borrow some money, Kenya goes into the bank account. He gives her, let's say she needs something. He gives her $2,000. By the way, my mother-in-law is not like this, baby. She's 70-some years old, honey, and she be grinding. You hear me? So she ain't never, not one day in our 20 years of marriage, asked for nothing from us because she's a king and she grind. But anyway, let me get up off of that. So she asked Kenya for, whatever. Oh, I got this going on. Or even if she don't ask, oh, my refrigerator then broke down and I don't know what I'm going to do about it. And then Kenya goes straight into our savings account and he take $2,000 out and he wired straight to her to get a new refrigerator. So I'm the money person in our family. I'm not the one who controls the finances, but I'm the one who do the finances because I love numbers and I love maximizing the coin in which we have. You hear me? So I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute. The bank must have took some money out of our doggone account. Somebody done stole some money. Let me call this bank. Then they say, no, Miss King, nobody stole any money. This look like this happened on y'all's end. Really? So, of course, I'm going to go to my husband. Baby, it's $2,000 missing from the savings account. We talking about working to saving up and this and this and that. What happened to the $2,000? Oh, mama needed a refrigerator. Now, this is something that me and my husband, hey, Tasha, I got both Natashas on. Yes. If this is something that me and my husband continuously argue over, this is how you need to stay 2 steps ahead of the game. This is how it should have worked. His mama said something about her refrigerator. He comes and he talks to me and say, baby, mama's refrigerator went on a blink. She don't know how she gonna, be able to get a new refrigerator. Right now she falling on hard times. What do you think, that we can do to help mama out? That's what should have happened. That's how you stay 2 steps ahead of the game if you don't want to argue again. The worst thing that married individuals can do is have a conversation with somebody else. And I'm not talking about reporting everything. Having a conversation with somebody else and the person outside of the marriage is going to, trust me, turn around and thought when she finds or he finds another opportunity to slip it up. Oh, you remember when I gave you that ride the other day? Because this is a big thing right here, even though it sounds small. For those who don't have nobody, for those who don't have a man or a woman right now, you going to sit up here and say, Shan, you being extra. You being extra. No. I don't think look here. Let me show you how this go. So let's say, and I'm going to give another example. Let's say that, God forbid, something happened to the vehicle that I'm in. And let's say that I know somebody who, say, a male co-worker who say, you know what, I'll give you a ride home. Don't worry about it. It's on my way, this, that, and the other. Let's say I jump my tail in that vehicle. And let's say by the time we pull up, this man that my husband don't know is dropping me off at the house, even though the man is doing a good deed. Good morning, Andrea. How you doing? He's doing a good thing, a good deed, and my husband pull up at the same time. How you think that's going to go? That's going to go south. So what I should have done is said, hey, baby, the truck is tripping. It won't start. Because let me tell you about my husband. He will stop everything that he is doing. I don't care if he's in a meeting, and he will dip and he will come to my aid. But baby, it won't start. Da 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 da. I remember one time the vehicle didn't start, and I said, baby, it's not starting. He was like, okay, I'm on my way. It was a male coworker, and I'm talking to my husband on the phone, and the male coworker said, you know what? I'll give you a jump. He said, I'll give you a jump. And then, and so I said, baby, what do you think about it? He gonna give me a jump. I didn't want you to have to drive 20 minutes all the way up here, whatever. My honey stayed on the phone with me. The coworker jumped it. My husband said, please tell him I said, thank you for helping you out. I said, hey, I almost said his name. Hey, my husband said, thank you so much, da da da. And then the next time my husband came around, I introduced my husband to that man. See, I'm staying 2 steps ahead of the game. Hey, Miss Diggy, because this is what you got to understand. People who mean your marriage no good, they will sit back and observe, especially when your marriage is doing good. Y'all not arguing over stupid stuff anymore. Y'all progressing forward. And then the situation presents itself. Let me tell you what I know about the devil. The devil will continue to present the same situation that you all have been arguing over and over and over again about. You go through the same thing because you fall into the same trap. Somebody needs to learn to stay 2 steps ahead of the game. Do y'all know? I've had females that, baby, they were so bold, they was flirting with my honey right in front of me. And I'm not talking about just his ex-wife. I'm talking about coworkers and everything. And I'm looking like, this bride don't know me. She don't know I'm from the hood. Oh, Lord, I'm battling within myself because I'm like, Shan, you're on federal installation. If you get arrested for tearing up this whole office, you going to get some fed time. See, I had to think and stay 2 steps ahead of the game. Your children need their mama. Your husband do really need his wife, even though he ain't recognizing this bride is flirting with him. Like, how many of y'all have ever had this battle? Learn to stay 2 steps ahead of the game. God has given us wisdom. We need to learn how to use it. And I'm going to tell you this because I hear husbands and wives say this. Get so comfortable in your marriage where you sit up and say, oh, don't nobody else want my husband. Don't nobody else want my wife. Baby, I'm telling you what I know. The enemy is always busy and he will use anybody. He will use co-workers. He will use people in your church. He will even use your own family members to get in between your marriage. But we need to learn how to stay 2 steps ahead of the game. We don't do that. We fall into that same trap. So the next time the same trap in which you've been arguing about presents itself, before you begin to react, because that's what you do, before you begin to react, I ask you to sit back. I even ask you, hey, Cammie, I even ask you to pray. Okay, God, because I done did this. The old Shan have been to tow this whole building up. And I really don't want to catch no fed time, God, because I'm too cute for jail. This is how I pray to God. God, help me in this. Help me to remain calm. Help me even to be able to remain calm when I talk to my husband about this situation so he don't feel like I'm attacking him. Help us to stay together as a team, a partnership on one accord. See, we fall into that same trap and then you wonder why you arguing about the same situation over and over and over again. Let me tell you what I know. When one fall back and don't continue to do the same thing that you would do, I promise you your spouse is going to notice the difference. They're going to say, wait a minute. Usually when this situation happened, you usually act a fool, but you quiet. Let me tell you something else that I know, that quietness scares people. Because when you quiet, people don't know what you think. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's somebody that's trying to get in the inside and attack your marriage. So husbands and wives, ask yourself this. How is it that the enemy always come in? I don't want you to point your finger at your spouse. Do not point your finger because that's not going to help anything. But how is it that the enemy always come into your marriage? Number 1. Number 2, what is it that needs to change? Number 3, who's praying? Okay, ain't nobody praying, but people ready to jump bad. Who's praying and settling their spirit in this type of situation? That will cause an amazing amount of change, okay? So you don't go through this. Me as the hothead, baby, I was the one that was ready to set it off. Now, my husband will too. Now, he quiet. But, baby, that's why I say it's them quiet ones you got to worry about. But he'll set it off, baby. Worse than Queen Latifah and them. So learn to stay 2 steps ahead of the game for every situation that has attacked your marriage. The enemy, the devil, the adversary, whatever you want to call him, will learn how to attack. And if you continue to go through the same thing, that's what they're going to continue to present. Just like in the military, if I can't attack your perimeter, and because I'm going to find the weak point of entry to get in, and that's where I'm going to report and tell my soldiers, attack right there, because at this time, that person in that guard shack, they sleeping. They sleeping at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's how you attack that base camp. And I hate to make it military, but for those who have ever served and ever deployed, you know what I'm talking about. For those who have ever been into leadership, think about for those who have stolen money out your account. Baby, they know because they study your transactions through that little card reader that they have. And every time your card come up, they know when to attack. That's when you say, wait a minute, every time I go and use this certain gas station, then that's when somebody done breached my account. When you tired of people messing with your money, you'll say, you know what, let me go to an ATM machine that I trust. Let me take some cash out. So the next time I go get some gas, I'm going to pay for it. That's staying 2 steps ahead of the game. So how many of y'all are falling into that same trap and the devil keep attacking you the same way, and the devil's going to continue to attack you until you two decide to say, I no longer want to be in this marriage. You don't have to throw the marriage out. Look, throw the baby out with the bath water. You don't have to throw your marriage out with the bath water. What you need to do is sit back, husband and wife, and think, wait a minute, rationally, mature conversation. How is it that the same thing keep happening over and over again? Recognize the game that is being ran on you in your marriage. If you want a stronger marriage, you got to recognize the game. I recognize when female, baby, I be that one, honey. Yes, it's petty. I will go up to my husband's job. You heard me? And when I used to see the same female, I would go up and kiss him purposely in front of her. That's how petty I was. You see what I'm saying? To let her know. And the last thing before I get ready to go, never, ever, 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 ever argue in front of anyone else. You keep that mess, that heated conversation between the two of you, because that is another trick of the enemy when they see you arguing all the time. Oh yeah, the last time I heard, girl, they was arguing over money, so they must be having financial issues. You see what I'm saying? Last time I heard, girl, they was arguing over this, so it must have been that. Yeah, man, the last time I heard them, don't ever do that, especially if it's somebody at the job. Because let me give that example one more time. If I go up to my husband's job and I see somebody all up in his face and she got the little short dress on and the heels, the person I don't need to be attacking in that situation is my husband, especially if he ain't showing her no. I might say, babe, and I've said it, baby, you might want to watch that bride because she mean you no good. You see what I'm saying? But you, wife, I need to learn how to approach it from a different angle. Because if she see that she can get at me because she walking past, switching, throwing her behind from the east to the west with this little short skirt on and these 6-inch heels and stuff like that, she learns she getting to me. She know that she's attacking and she's winning. You don't ever sit up here and argue and let nobody do no things like that. So this is just some encouragement on the day. So y'all go ahead and have a blessed day. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Be a blessing to somebody today and not a curse. Share this because it's free. Your girl shouldn't be back with you on Monday, but whatever it is God placed in my heart, have a nice, relaxing resurrection weekend. All right? God bless and blessings to you.